Good evening. Welcome back to America's Infrastructure. And tonight's infrastructure deals with a single concept: identity. And it gets distorted every time someone tries to pin a single tail on America, as if this country were ever claimed by one European, Asian, or Far Eastern power. So let's name the tail, shall we? All of them. Because once you see how many tails there are, you'll understand why this American donkey does what it does. The American donkey balks. It treasures independence. It values individuality. It does not like being told what to do, not how to worship, not what to worship, and not to worship. That's called individual choice. This frames the entire segment around belief as a personal structure. The founding fathers were particular about separating church and state because they knew what happened when the two were fused. They knew what it did to their home countries. They knew what it did to their own families. They knew what it did to people like them. Then the historical consequences, and they're all factual, you can look it up: hanging, imprisonment, torture, burning, pressing, outlawing, property seizure, exiled. Those are not opinions, folks. Those are historical records. And when people look out at the three crosses by the highway, what do you truly see? Some see a reminder of Christ and the two thieves crucified beside him. Some see a symbol of hope. Some see a warning. Some see nothing at all. Me, I see three men who died on a hill. I don't see a religion. I don't see a denomination. I don't see a fish on a bumper sticker. Does that make me an atheist? No. It makes me an American, someone who understands that belief is personal, not prescribed. This is reflective, not political. And if we're going to talk about commandments, let's remember what one of them says: do not worship false gods or carved images. Somewhere along the way, a lot of institutions, churches included, interpret that differently. Or maybe they weren't on the same wavelength. This is about interpretation, not criticism. America was built by people who disagreed violently, historically, theologically, about what God wanted. That's why the founders separated church and state. They weren't anti-religion. They were anti-persecution. They knew what happened when belief became the law. This ties directly into the founders' reasoning. As you can see, America's infrastructure is more than roads, bridges, the grid, cities, or states. America's infrastructure is the whole enchilada. The people themselves. We are a diverse nation built by generations who came from many different countries, carrying their cultures, their behaviors, their societies, their beliefs, their faiths, and their gratitude for finding a place where they could live without fear. There's a reason France gifted us the Statue of Liberty. For the ones who escaped religious persecution, imprisonment, banishment, death, the destruction of families, and the seizure of property. That statue wasn't decoration. It was a promise. And if that history feels distant to some people today, it's because they've forgotten that the internal structure of nations, their laws, their freedoms, their protections determine what we have, what we keep, and what we can lose if we stop paying attention. There's an old saying, those who do not remember their past are doomed to repeat it. Let's not repeat it, America. This is Elizabeth Caldwell. Stay informed, remain alert, question everything, be safe.